I'm here with Elissa Olimpi, who's doing research in the agricultural landscapes around Gilroy, California tonight. Elissa, can you tell us a little bit more about the farm that we're on and what you're going to be doing tonight?
Yeah, well, right now we are in Gilroy, and we're standing in the middle of a riparian corridor. This is Carnadero Creek. And tonight we're going to be setting up nets to catch bats as part of my research. They're kind of like a fine volleyball net, so the bats hopefully don't see them, fly into it, get tangled, and then we take them out and we take a guano sample from the bat so we can figure out what they're eating. The bats out here are using this corridor as well as flying across the farm fields. So part of my research is looking at how bats are contributing to pest control. So how bats are benefiting farmers and what agricultural insect pests they might be consuming. We've been working near farms. We have 5 or 6 sites that we've been frequenting and that we try to rotate through each of those sites. Bats are emerging around dusk, so right now it's about 8:45 that we start to see the first bats that are coming out of their roosts and flying around. Once we have those nets open, we'll check them about every half hour and extract any bats and take measurements on them. Bat activity usually starts to slow down around midnight, and depending on the weather and the site, bat activity will continue until about 2 a.m. Usually bats have one main foraging bout when they emerge at dusk, and then they will take a break, a pit stop. They'll roost somewhere during the night and often come back out again in the early morning.
I can hold it if you want. Oh, I am holding it. Okay.
Myself.
We've gotten a lot better at putting this up.
Let's get this little one too. Okay. Forward. Yum.
Oh, there's a bat!
There's a bat.
So first bat of the night, and it flew in from my side of the net, so it was going downstream, I guess. I mean, they're delicate, but they're still pretty feisty, you see.
If I look at its calcar, which is like the membrane between its leg and its tail,
Based on the size, I know it's one of 2 species. Right here, coming off its leg, there's a little bit of cartilage that goes out towards the tail. So for this species, we know that it's a eumamyotis because that cartilage it's kind of smooth. If it were a little thicker and had a bit of a corner, then it would be called keeled. So this bat doesn't have a keeled calcar, so we know it's eumamyotis. I'm gonna put it in this clean paper bag and hope that it poops in there and gives me a fecal sample. But we'll take it back. We'll finish checking the nets, I guess, and then we'll take it back to our processing station and take some measurements on it, take a hair clipping, weigh it, measure its forearm.
we made lots of poops. Good job. We need those. This is the first bat that we've captured tonight. It's a little eumamyotis. So I'm going to measure its forearm. This can also be a way to distinguish between species. This one we already know, but the range of the forearm can help with that. So 34.5. And then we want to know the sex. This is a female. Now I want to see if she's reproductive or not. So bats right now either have given birth or are lactating. So look for a nipple. She does have a nipple that's not really exposed, but it looks like maybe she's post-reproductive. But I can check and see if she feels pregnant at all, just kind of feel her abdomen, and feels like she's full, but it's not, it's like kind of squishy, so it's probably just insects, not that she's pregnant. And then I want to check and just confirm. I think it's an adult because I think she's post-reproductive, but I can look at the joints in the wing and see if the bones have ossified. So it's easy to see if there's a light under it. And so these joints look fairly nodular, not elongated, and you can't see through them. There's no clear parts, so the bone is ossified at the joint, so it's an adult. You can see there's some spots where maybe the wing had some tears before, but it heals up very quickly. A way to mark the bats so that we can make sure that we're not taking samples from the same bat multiple times is to cut a patch of fur between the scapula. So this bat looks like it's got all the fur there, so I don't think we've caught it before. This bat has really thick fur. From the hair, we can tell more about the diet using carbon and nitrogen isotopes. So now we just have to weigh this bat. So this bat weighs 6.9 grams, which is a pretty big bat for this species. Since we have all the samples that we need and there's enough fecal samples in the bag, we are done with this bat. If she doesn't want to fly away right away, I can put her back in a bag and kind of stuff her in my shirt to keep her warm. And then I'll be able to feel her moving around and I'll know that she's ready to go. Usually, if we haven't, had them for very long and they're being feisty like this, then you just really need to let them know that they're free because she's been trying to escape as long as I've had her. So just figuring out where she's here. Yeah. It's very bright. She might be a little disoriented. There she goes.